Hey there, my friend. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, founder here at the Fit Father Project, and I want to officially welcome you to episode 100 of the Fit Father Project podcast. My team and I, we are celebrating today. We have created officially 100 of these amazing podcast episodes where we've been able to share so many impactful health tips from me and some of my wisdom I've gathered over the years as it relates to nutrition, exercise, sleep, and all that stuff. But more importantly, we've been able to share some of the most inspiring stories online of real guys in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s who have used our programs and our methodology to become the heroes in their lives and their families, to create lifelong, vibrant health, to create incredible transformation in such a short amount of time. Because in creating this Fit Father Project podcast, it was my dream to dispel one big myth. And that myth is the idea that if you're over 40 and that you're not in shape right now, that you're over the hill. It's just simply not true. What all of the guys have proven who have been here in this podcast, who have been interviewed, they're proving that you can take back the hill at any age when you focus, when you start working the right plan, when you tap in and find your deep why and motivation for getting healthy. And of course, when you get support from experts like my team who walk this walk every single day with tens of thousands of guys. So big celebration for you, the listener who's been with us through this journey. If you're one of our program members, God bless you. I'm so happy you're part of our family. If you're someone who's just been listening and hanging out and getting familiar with our Fit Father Project community, stick with us and stick with this episode today because we are interviewing an incredible man and an incredible guest. And I couldn't think of anyone better to be our 100th episode because you're about to hear from Fit Father Cleve Hartwick, one of our members. And over the past 6 months, Cleve has dropped over 40 pounds. He's developed phenomenal exercise habits. He's got his energy back. Cleve no longer has back pain. He no longer needs to rely on his asthma inhaler. And as Cleve describes, his journey, episode 100 we're going to be covering today, actually starts back during COVID. See, Cleve is from Montreal, Canada, and they had some of the strictest COVID lockdown policies around. And during that time, Cleve felt completely disconnected from his life, from his family. See, Cleve is a black belt in karate. He couldn't go to his dojo. Cleve plays in a rock band. He couldn't meet up with his bandmates. So to kind of fill the void and get over some of the depression, Cleve started drinking. And if you've been down that path, you know that only gets worse. So he spiraled into more depression, more guilt around his drinking. And there was just so much negative momentum built up around that. Well, Cleve was on YouTube one day and he was just looking for some random stuff that could maybe help him. And he stumbled upon one of our resistance band workouts. And he got some resistance bands and he started doing these workouts at home. And he found that he started to feel better. And then officially in January 1st of 2022, he joins and starts the program and makes this incredible transformation. So we're celebrating today two things, episode 100, but most importantly, Fit Father Cleve, a man who is also holding the flag and waving the banner that you are not over the hill. You are not too old, too fat, too out of shape to make a dramatic transformation, that even if you're right now struggling with any kind of addiction in your life, you feel like you're spinning out of control, you can turn that momentum around with the right plan, with the right focus. So without further ado, let's celebrate episode 100 by welcoming today's guest, Fit Father Cleve Hartwick. All right, Cleve, welcome officially to the Fit Father Project podcast, my friend. I'm so happy to have you here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
I've been looking forward to this.
Likewise. And I'd love to kick this off with a little bit of background info about you for all the guys and gals listening, your name, your age, where you're from, and anything that you'd like to share about your work and your family. Just a little background info.
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Cleve Hartwick. I will be turning 50 in about 3 months from now, in October. I have been married to my lovely wife for about 6-7 years, I guess. Yeah, six years. Yes, 6 years. We've been together
We'll make sure she doesn't listen to this and like, when he doesn't even know. Okay, good.
Yeah. We've been together for 16, but we have a beautiful daughter together, a 14-year-old girl. Her name is Sarah Jade. She's just about to enter her 9th grade of school this year.
Nice.
Little bit of background about me. I work for one of the largest telecommunications companies in Canada. I actually have quite a stressful job. I am a team manager, kind of a middle manager in the company. I lead a team of escalation managers. So basically, I lead a team of 16 people that take calls from our customers that are upset and have requested to speak to a manager. So I make sure that they're running smoothly, and it's quite busy. It's quite quite intense and stressful. So a little bit more about me. I've got 2 cats. I play in a rock band. I've been playing music for quite some time. Released a couple of CDs with my band. Nice. I also have a black belt in Shorin-ryu, traditional Okinawan karate. Got my black belt about 15 years ago.
Cool.
And I've been practicing karate for about 30 years, I guess.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's a life of dedication. And I also want to recognize, I have a sense, just because we have like a customer service team in our small company, I can't even imagine what it's like handling the escalations of like a big global, like Canada telecommunications. Stressful work for sure. Now take us to what got you to shift your focus on really getting healthy. Like what was the time frame, and what really prompted you to start getting serious about looking into improving your health and fitness?
Sure. So, to start the story, we'd need to kind of backtrack. I used to be in pretty decent shape, just all the years of practicing karate. The pandemic hit, and I was still going to karate school 2-3 times a week, getting in my workouts, and I was generally pretty healthy. But then the pandemic hit, and my karate school closed, and I just found myself kind of floating and not really having much to do with a regimented fitness program or anything like that. And just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of job stress, a lot of just general stress about things that were happening in the world at the time, and it kind of led me down a dark path. I didn't have an outlet really to let go of some of my stress or to kind of deal with that. Wasn't able to get together with any of my bandmates, because where I'm from, here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, we had some of the strictest protocols and regulations in Canada when the pandemic hit, and we were basically in lockdown. We weren't allowed to go outside. We weren't allowed to be in grocery stores, only one person for family, and that sort of thing. So it was very hard to see people, and I found that I was turning to alcohol quite a bit to cope. And because of that, I was making some bad choices as far as food was concerned, and I just packed on about 40 pounds within about a year. And the turning point for me, and what made me want to get into looking after my health, was one day just getting up and going to put on my socks, and just having like massive back pain, and not even being able to bend over to put on my socks because my belly was in the way. And I thought, how did I let myself get like this? I used to be, in pretty decent shape, and this is not me. I knew that I had to make a change. I started kind of looking at different options. I kind of explored the keto diet a little bit, because some people that I worked with told me that they had seen some success with keto, and that it was a really rapid weight loss. And so I experimented with that a little bit, lost a few pounds, but then gained it right back, because it's a very, very strict protocol that you have to follow on that diet. So I was looking for something that was more sustainable, more realistic, that would align with, who I am as a person and align with my kind of lifestyle. So keto was not it. So I thought, well, maybe I need to implement some more movement in my life. And I purchased some resistance bands online. Been hearing a lot about resistance bands because the gyms were all closed, and I don't have a lot of room here. This is my workout room, by the way, which is pretty small. It's about I can touch both walls this way, and I could probably touch both walls this way. So didn't have a lot of room, and I thought resistance bands would probably be the way to go. So I bought a set, and there wasn't really much information that was included with them. So I started looking for some more information on what kind of exercises I could do and that sort of thing. And I came across one of your videos on YouTube about the modified Apex I think it was called the Apex 8.
Yeah.
With the resistance bands. So that's kind of how I found the Fit Father project. And it was basically just my need to get myself back into shape. I felt like I was not only in pain, but my asthma was out of control because of the extra weight that I had gained. I found that I was being winded going up and down the stairs. I live on the 3rd floor in a building here in Montreal, and just going up and down the stairs was like winding me and making me sore. I would lay down in bed and it would take me forever to fall asleep because I was having trouble breathing, and I knew that I needed a change.
Yeah. Powerful. I'm glad you bought those resistance bands. It goes to show one little action leads you to the next doorway, and ultimately you find yourself connected with us. And I'm so grateful that you did, and you found this thing and it was able to help you. So I will kind of feel compelled to do a little bit like you painted such a good picture of where you were at. Then I'd almost like you to describe what you experience now, and then we'll kind of fill in the gaps of what it took to get there. But like, what have you experienced in terms of results on this program? Like, how would you describe, weight loss, body fat changes, and like maybe changes on the back pain and asthma? Like, paint us a picture now of like what your current present condition is. And then I'd like to talk about what it took to get there. I think it'd be a fun way to do this.
Sure. Yeah. So right now, no back pain whatsoever. I went from not being able to put on my shoes and socks without, having massive lower back pain and just having shooting pains up both sides of my spine. Now, part of my warm-up regimen is, bending over and touching my toes and the stretching after workouts. No problem. I can get my leg up into a high chamber kick. Cool. I've also not had to touch my asthma inhaler in about 5 months.
Cool.
So that is a big win for me. I was relying on that inhaler quite heavily over the last couple of years, and to not have that tightness in my chest is a complete game changer for me.
Yeah.
Sleeping much, much more deeply, much better. My wife is very happy because I'm not snoring as much because I don't have that extra weight. It's been a huge game changer. I wake up refreshed. I fit better in my clothes. I've just tried on a pair of shorts that I had in my drawer that my wife bought me a couple of years ago and said, "Oh, these would look good on you." And then I looked and I saw, oh, it's a 31 waist. I'm never going to get into those, but I'm wearing them. And
that's cool.
Yeah. So
nice.
It's, lots of changes. The body composition is considerably better. I've started the program in January at 218 pounds, just shy of 219 pounds. I weighed myself this morning and I was at 180 pounds. So that's 38 pounds lost in just about 6 months.
Nice work.
First time that I measured my body fat on my smart scale. It's not a real DEXA scan or anything like that, but the indication remains the same. First time I weighed myself and measured my body fat, it was at 31.8. This morning, it's at 20.9.
Nice.
So considerable improvement there. I feel stronger. I look better in my clothes. I've had numerous people that have come to me that haven't seen me in a while just because of the pandemic and the lockdown situation. And they've said, boy, oh boy, what are you doing? Like you look amazing. And it's been incredible.
Congratulations is what I'll say. You know,
thank you.
Like it's such a cool before and after. And I want to speak to the asthma thing for a second. Like just the fact that you have so much less inflammation, your body's so much less reactive in your lungs. Like it's hard to even factor in what that means for you in your long-term like cardiopulmonary health. Like that's huge, let alone the weight, the composition changes, the back pain. Man, you're firing on all cylinders. Now, I'd be remiss to say that it wasn't a lot of work to get there, right? So, I mean, we have an A and we have a Z. Talk to us about the journey, about what it took to get started on the program. What were some of the big things? And let's start to get into the process of starting there. So maybe we start in like the early phase. What was important for you as you started the program? What are you starting to learn? What was the early part of the program like for you?
Yeah. So when I signed up, I used the sale that you had at the start of the year to try it for 30 days. You had a sale going on. So I thought, you know what have I got to lose? I mean, if it works, great. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. It's just some time that I might have lost. And what really impressed me and captivated me right off the bat was the thought and the amount of I guess, structure in the plan. Like I immediately thought that the mission statement and all of the precursor to the workouts, like all of the kind of introductory work that you do on the program was incredible. And for me, the mission statement really spoke to me. So I spent the time, I realized that could play a big factor in whether or not I stick with this or not. So I took it very seriously. I really did a lot of self-reflection. It took me about a week to go through all of the introductory material and videos. Once I did that and I had a solid mission statement in place, I started with the modified Apex workouts with my resistance bands. And I found that I don't really have enough room in here for my resistance bands to really get that full workout and the resistance that I needed. So I bought a pair of dumbbells, 10 pounds each. And initially I thought I was selling myself short. I thought, 10 pounds, I can do this in my sleep. And that Apex 10 workout kicked my butt. I mean, it was one of those things that it's humbling, and it really makes you realize, wow, I have a long way to go. So that's kind of where I started. Then I did like a week and a half of working out twice a week, doing the Apex 10, and then walking outside and just making sure that my hydration and my perfect plate was on point. And I caught COVID in January. So that kind of derailed me for about a week and a half because I just couldn't even hardly get out of bed. I had massive headaches and it's just really, really difficult to do anything for about a week and a half. But because I put in that work with my mission statement and I really, really connected strongly with why do I want to do this? As soon as I felt good enough to try again, I got right back into it. And I have not missed a single workout that I've scheduled for myself since then. So I've been following religiously all of the workout plans. I've been pretty diligent on the nutrition. I do have the occasional, slice of pizza and stuff like that. And, I'm not perfect, but I'm making progress. And that to me was the big thing that I had to kind of get through my mind. And, in the past, I've always thought perfection or nothing. Right. And that's kind of like a mindset that I think I know I struggle with, and I think that some people might struggle with as well, as the all or nothing mindset. And once I got past that and realized that it's okay if you slip sometimes, just don't let it one day become a week, become a month, become a year of slipping. Just get back on that horse and try and right it again. So I graduated from the 10-pound dumbbells to a set of adjustable dumbbells that included 70 pounds of weight. I started off by doubling up the weight and doing some of the strength training, like the Monroe and the Kennedy and the bullet strength and that sort of thing. And I found that I was making some really, really good progress. Bought myself a weight bench, and I thought, man, I'm really on fire. I look forward to working out now. Whereas before it was kind of like, oh man, I have a workout tonight. I'm not really looking forward to it. I had a hard day at work. Now it's like, okay, I had a crappy day at work. I really had, a lot of stress. I get to work out tonight, and I get to forget about all of that. I get to get a good sweat on. I get to sling some heavy weight around, and it makes me feel really, really good. So that's kind of how I journeyed through. I just bought myself a pair of 40-pound kettlebells the other day to celebrate graduating from phase 3 into phase 4. Normally, in the past, if I were to celebrate something like that, it probably would have been with, a bottle of champagne and a pretty caloric dense meal, and maybe, a bottle of scotch or something like that, and then wake up the next morning and kind of regret it and say, oh man, what did I do? And now my mindset has changed a lot. And, my relationship with food has changed. I haven't drank alcohol in quite a long time. I think the last time I drank was maybe at the beginning of January, something like that. So it's been quite a while. I've also kicked my coffee habit. I was drinking like maybe 5-6 cups of coffee every morning, which is not healthy. And, now I'm embracing the hydration, just plain old water in the morning, getting up, making sure that I'm hydrated first thing in the morning, especially, and then throughout the day, keeping myself hydrated, especially when I'm working out. And it's been an amazing journey. I'm really, really happy with the support that has been provided from your team, especially Kat and Ben. The guys in the Brotherhood the Facebook Brotherhood have been incredible for keeping each other motivated. We share our successes, we share our challenges, and some pictures every once in a while. It's a really tight-knit group. I've never met anybody in the group, but I feel like they're all friends. So it's really, really cool. I really love the program, and I can't recommend it highly enough.
I gotta say, I feel like compelled to say congratulations again, because just the depth of transformation you made. I mean, some people struggle just to kick coffee, period, let alone doing all these things in succession, like going from feeling like you had a low mood, couldn't deal with stress, seeking it out externally through a vehicle like alcohol, to being internally motivated to sling weights, crushing these goals, eating healthier in a balanced way, sleeping better. Like, this has been a massive transformation for you. And it's really incredible. I'm really proud of you for all the effort that it took to do this. And I can probably attest that you experienced that positive momentum begets more positive momentum, as opposed to the negative momentum gets more negative. So I can see this snowball effect of just goodness happening in your life right now. And I hope that thing turns into the biggest snowball in the world and just keeps on charging to wherever things take you. So I have a couple questions. One would be, what's next for you? Where are you heading? What's like the rest of this year, next year? Like what's kind of on your mind, on your heart as it relates to your fitness and your health journey?
Great question. One of the things that I really like about the program is that when you get to the phase 4, you kind of have to think about that. You kind of have to think about, okay, well, now the ball is more in my court than it's ever been. So now I'm thinking about, strengthening some of my relationships with my family, with my friends, at work. I've noticed that I don't have the same kind of brain fog in the afternoons that I had. So I'm going to continue on with the hydration, with the exercise. At some point, I'm planning on checking out the old school muscle program, but right now I'm not quite where I want to be. I'm about 5 pounds away from my goal weight, which is exciting. I never thought that I would get there that quickly, but the next steps would be just maintain, and at some point, maybe like I said, check out the old school muscle program and just maybe tone up, just to be able to feel really healthy. I'm going to continue on with the perfect plate, and continue on with all of the mental aspects as well, like just taking stock in what's important to me and trying to be the best person that I can be. And that's I think the underlying message of this whole program is just to realize your potential and become the best person.
Beautifully said. Be. I mean, it's like finding that higher path for you and walking that, whatever that is. And it's very clear that you're on that. I want to ask you, what's it been like with your daughter and your wife seeing you go through this? Like what's the experience been like, them observing you make this change?
Great question. So initially, I come into this little room and I would be in here sweating and grunting and groaning and that sort of thing. And my wife would be in the other room and she'd be like, "Are you okay? Like, it sounds like you're really hurting yourself or something." And I would say, no, I'm actually enjoying myself. Like it's good. I'm really liking this. And after about 2 months, my wife said, "Do they have a program for women?" And I reached out to Kat and said, is there, my wife might be interested. And she said, well, as part of the Fit Father program, you can actually introduce her to the Fit Mother program. So I did, and she has realized some amazing success as well. Lots of weight loss, lots of body transformation. She feels great. It's been incredible. The other thing is that my daughter is starting to feel like, I might be interested in, being a little more active, and like mom and dad are both kind of working out at the same time, and this is intriguing to her. So she hasn't joined yet, but she's intrigued.
That's a beautiful lead by example, just being there in your house, doing your thing for you, and seeing that positivity is infectious, especially when people can see that you've stuck with it for such time. And I imagine it was just as much, not just the physical changes, but your mental, emotional changes too, that like really prompted your wife to be curious, and now your daughter. I mean, man, that to me is like what a fit father is all about. You get yourself right and you stand as a rock in your family, and they're coming along too. It's a really beautiful thing.
Thank you.
How's it affected your work? I mean, you have a high stress work, and I mean, has it at all? I mean, what's it like now working? Your job hasn't changed. You're having the same kind of big days and stuff like that. Have you noticed any difference in work now that you've been on this, higher path regimen we've been describing?
Yeah, actually, one of the big things that I've noticed is just the lack of brain fog in the afternoon. I usually right around 2 or 3 o'clock, I would start to fade, and I'd be like, "Oh man, I need a cup of coffee, or I need some kind of a pick me up," and then I would kind of forget about things, and then at the end of the day, I'd be like, "Oh man, I forgot to do this," and I need to catch up, and now I'm going to be behind on my work tomorrow. And because I don't have that same kind of brain fog, I find that I don't procrastinate as much. I find that I'm more on top of my work. A lot of my team, because we have video meetings like this, a lot of my team has said, "Wow, what are you doing?" And it's inspiring them. And it's also helping me to have conversations with my team members about goal setting, because that's a big part of our culture at the company that I work for, is that we have quarterly goal setting. And I've been living that. I've been setting goals for myself. Like I have a sheet right beside me here that outlines, my month in advance. All my workouts are planned. All my meals are planned. I also have this posted on our fridge in the kitchen, so that my wife and daughter know I'm on a fasting day today, or I'm on low carb today, or I have a workout tonight after work, so that they know not to come and say, "Hey, would you like to have some breakfast today," or whatever, so that it's a family thing. We're all aligned. And I do that with my team at work as well, to help them to realize that if you set goals for yourself and you're consistent, you're going to realize more success. And the most important part of goal setting, to me anyway, is to have that attachment, that you really have to have a strong why. Why are you setting this goal for yourself? Because if you don't have that attachment, if it doesn't mean something, if it doesn't speak to you, then the chance of success goes down.
For sure. No doubt about that. And I'm curious, has your mission statement evolved as you've gone throughout this program? Have you rewritten it, revisited it, or is it still pretty much the same through line, this whole experience?
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting thing to ask, because I did revisit it. I don't know, it was about a month ago. I was having a really, really rough day, and I was thinking, man, I'm just going to skip my workout. I'm not going to do it. I don't feel it. I didn't sleep well last night, and I'm really tired, and I just it's not going to happen. And I don't know what made me do it, but I went back to my mission statement, and I reread it, and I thought, okay, I made a promise to myself, and I made a promise to my family to stick to this. And I made that promise in the mission statement to myself that the costs would not be outweighed, the benefits would outweigh the cost. And the benefits that I had seen up to that point had far outweighed the cost in terms of time. So I thought, you know what, suck it up, get on the floor, start slinging some weight around. And it kind of made me understand that when I made that mission statement, I've already accomplished a whole bunch of things that I set out for myself. And I was reading it just before we started this interview again, and I thought, man, I have on here that my friends and colleagues will comment on how much better I look. I won't need my asthma inhaler as much. And this is all before I started. I'll be stronger from working out consistently. I'll fit into my stage clothes again. So when I'm on stage, I won't have my belly showing off, and I'll have more energy to be able to play my guitar. I'll be able to sleep better. I'll be more focused at work and not have the same brain fog. I'll have more healthy habits. I'll no longer struggle to put my shoes and socks on. Just things like that. And I've realized all of that. So I'll probably have to revisit this a little bit and come up with some new goals, because I've realized 90% of my goals in my initial mission statement.
What a powerful experience that is.
It's incredible
to be able to write something down, knowing that is your authentic desire after done deep reflection. And now to be here today, having experienced all of those things, and now being at a new level, right? A new level with new skills, which gives you new vision to cast an even deeper, net of desire for what you want next. And I'm excited to see what that is for you. I'm curious, have you gotten back to the karate gym or dojo? Has that been something that's been possible for you yet?
No. Unfortunately, my sensei was, he was in his 70s. So when the school closed down,
he said, time to retire.
I think
he's going with the flow of life. I get that.
So I've been looking for another school, but I can't find a school that fits my work schedule, because most of the karate schools here, they start their classes while I'm still at work. So I'm still trying to find a school to join, but I am, practicing my katas and my exercises every once in a while, and being able to be flexible again as a result of shedding some weight and getting stronger. Like I can't wait to actually get back into the
I'm excited for
dojo.
You. I had that vision of you with this, leaner, stronger, more flexible, agile body. Like that's going to translate big time, because you obviously have all the skill set and drilling repetition. Physically, now you have the ability to execute better. That's going to be incredible. Now, I just have, and to wrap this up, I have a few, more or less, I'd say like personal questions, just because I'm interested. Music is such a passion for you. And I think you're our first Fit Father who's come on here who I'd say is like a true rocker. And you've been in a band, you play on stage. And I think that's really amazing thing. It's been a huge through line in your life. Tell us a little more about that. Like, what's going on? You're still playing stages and shows and really getting after it. Like, what's that part of your life, and what do you intend to continue to do with that?
Yeah. So, an unfortunate thing happened as a byproduct of the pandemic. We actually played our last show on February 28th.
Whoa.
2020.
And then
like a week later, the world kind of shut down, and I haven't been on stage since. And we had just released our second CD. That was our CD release party, was February 28th. And I've been writing songs, and I've been, recording them at home. And I took some guitar lessons through the pandemic. But the guys in the band kind of drifted apart, and we all kind of wanted different things. So in October of this, October just passed, the drummer for the band called me up and said, "Hey, you know what? I got the itch to play again. Things are starting to loosen up as far as restrictions go related to COVID. Would you like to get together? I've got a jam space. You want to, bring your guitar over, bring your amp over, and we'll make some noise." So I did, and we're putting together another band, playing some cover tunes. I'm still writing my songs and recording them and demoing them. And we are planning on having our first kind of show, just a warm-up gig.
Congratulations.
Sometime next month.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of seeing bits from what I've even gathered this short conversation, like bits of your future coming up. Like in a year, you're back to regularly playing gigs with a new cohesive band that's full of energy. You're creating now. You're continuing with your fitness journey. Maybe you even find a new karate school. Your family is continuing to get healthier alongside of you. Like there's a lot of beautiful stuff that has come from a powerful decision you made to take your own health seriously. You know, it was like, it's many factors, but it's you're living a beautiful life. I know it hasn't been easy. I just want to recognize you for that again. It's a beautiful thing to hear about. And it makes me so proud of you and so grateful that you found this program. Truly, it's amazing. Yeah. So thanks, anything else you'd like to share in closing? That. I mean, I think we covered a lot of ground here and it's been a fantastic conversation. If you feel like there's anything left unsaid, I think this would be the time.
I think that for anybody that is thinking about joining this program, I think that it can't be understated the importance of connecting with your why. I think that was probably the biggest motivational thing for me, was really having that deep self-reflection before I ever picked up a weight, before I ever started any of the workouts or did anything, was just really connecting with why do you want to do this? Why is it inspirational to you? And why is it so important to you? Because if you don't connect with that, it makes it more difficult to continue on when you have a bad day.
I mean, you did share that point. And I think even to plus on top of that, I imagine those days when you don't feel like doing it, you reflect on your why and you do it anyways. Like that's a powerful day. That creates an even deeper groove where the you of the past may have just like fallen prey to the mental weakness, which is a natural thing that we all experience from time to time, but then choosing strength from that well of your why and still moving forward, like amazing. I mean, it makes you even stronger. Another notch on the belt, a stripe on the belt as we're doing this, the Fit Father belt, I guess. And you have plenty of stripes now. And I'm excited to see you tack on more and wherever your journey goes. And I want to say one more time, Cleve, thanks for coming on, sharing tremendous inspiration. I can't wait to get this conversation out to the brotherhood. I know there's been a lot of guys who have been rooting you on, you rooting them on. I know there's going to be a lot of guys celebrating listening to this who have been alongside you on the journey. And it's amazing. We're here together, and to share this is beautiful. And I thank you for your honesty, your openness. I want to say bless you and your family for a beautiful year ahead, and keep on kicking butt, buddy, and get that body fat down. And we'll see whatever happens from there. I'm excited to see the progress updates continue.